Thank you, Mr. Danish, for that very comprehensive and very enlightening message. This reminds us of how and why we are here today. There's a saying Mazari once said, our unity lies in our diversity. Let us embrace our differences and progress together. With that, our next guest has been working tirelessly to support the growth and well-being of our people. It is my great privilege to welcome a special guest who has been a strong advocate for our communities and a dedicated leader in Aotearoa. The Honourable Phil Twyford has served in various ministerial roles, making a significant impact in housing, transport and economical development. He currently serves as a Labour MP and remains committed to the well-being of our people and future of our country. Today we are honoured to have him here join us in celebrating the rich cultural diversity of our community. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to the Honourable Phil Twyford.
Assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak. I'm honoured to be with you today, and I'm so happy to be in this hall with so many friends from the Hazara community. I want to acknowledge Mr. Danish, Mr. Bezard. It's great to see you both here. And I want to say on behalf of my Labour Party colleagues, including the Honourable Chris Carter, who had to leave to go to another engagement, and Ibrahim Omir, who's here with me, that we are here today on behalf of the Labour Party because we value our relationship with you, with the Hazara community, and on this very special occasion, we stand with you in solidarity. We're honoured to be with you today as we remember the Hazara and Afghan patriot and martyr, Ustad Abdul Ali Mazari. Now, friends, we can look around the world at every country over many decades and centuries of history, and we can see how bad political leadership damages our world. Political leaders who divide their people instead of uniting them. Political leaders who pursue private gain instead of the public good. Political leaders who advance their own ambitions by scapegoating and discriminating against groups of people in their society. And Afghanistan has had more than its fair share of bad political leadership. But it's everywhere in the world. Right now you can see it in the White House. We see elements of it in our own country here. So today, it's really important that we remember and commemorate someone who was a shining example of good political leadership. And everything that I've been able to learn about Abdul Ali Mazari is that he was one such leader. He united his people. He was famous for saying that to be Hazara would not be a crime anymore in Afghanistan. He stood up to the systematic, historic oppression and discrimination that the Hazara people have experienced for so long. He was a pragmatic nationalist. He stood up for human rights, including for the rights of women and girls. And so we remember him for that. But when we gather together to remember people who have passed. I always think of the words of the great labour activist Joe Hill, an American labour activist in the early 20th century. And he said, "Don't mourn, organise." He was saying, don't just grieve for the dead, but actually organise and fight for the living. And I think that is the spirit as we remember the life and the work of Abdul Ali Mazari, that we must take his memory as a call to action. And notwithstanding the long decades and centuries, actually, of genocidal discrimination and violence against the Hazara people, the oppressive, medieval, theocratic Taliban state that denies its citizens even the most basic human rights, we must continue to organise and to resist, to fight for freedom, to fight for the human rights of everybody, to live free from arbitrary violence, to exercise democratic freedoms, for women and girls in Afghanistan today to be visible, for their voices to be heard, to have the right to education, and for people like the Hazara and other ethnic groups in Afghanistan to live free from discrimination and violence and persecution. And I believe, friends, that those things are just as important to the global Hazara diaspora all over the world and here in New Zealand today as they are for the people living in Afghanistan. And I'll tell you this, they are for your friends and allies here in New Zealand and around the world. Tashakur.